What's up, guys? I actually went on a very interesting scouting trip here in Maryland, and that is the sika deer. And a lot of people don't know what the sika deer is, but they're actually part of the elk family. I'm not going to pretend to know an expert about sika deer, but what I can tell you is they're very interesting to hunt, and they're very difficult to hunt. So I'd say probably 17 years ago, I hunted sika deer 2 times, and I ended up shooting one, a cow. You know, they don't weigh very much. You know, a male, a stag may weigh anywhere from 80 to 120 pounds. You know, if you shoot a 6-point stag, you're doing pretty good. It's considered a good trophy. And they were introduced to Maryland back in, I believe, I wrote it down, but 1916 is when they were introduced on James Island. And I did not know this, you know, when I first found out about it 15, 16, 17 years ago, is when I heard of sika deer. And they're only in like 2 or 3 counties down in, you know, Dorchester County, Eastern Shore, Maryland's Eastern Shore. But they're part of the elk family, and they look very strange if you look them up. They were brought over from Asia, and they're very small. And when you hunt them, they're very elusive. They're hard to hunt. And I remember back in the day, 17, 18, whatever it was, is like if you think a whitetail deer sneaks around, a sika deer sneaks around. And majority of their time is at night. You know, they move majority of their time at night, and they do feed obviously during the day because they have to eat. You know, like whitetails feed 4 or 5 times a day. Sika deer, they feed just as well, but during the fall their home range narrows down quite a bit, and they live in the swamps and marsh. The wetter it could be, you know, cattails and marsh, and you know, old clear cuts within that marsh is prime hunting opportunities for these deer. And majority of what I saw when I went down scouting, I went down with Zach, and from what I saw, it's mostly pines, some mixed hardwoods, pines and hardwoods a little bit, and there is no food at ground level until you get out into those old clear cuts that we found. And when you get into those clear cuts, you have lots of inside corners, soft edges, hard edges, and there's a lot of browse out inside that clear cut with pockets of swampy areas and cattails and such. And that's what we searched, and that's what we found. I think we hiked in maybe 2.5 miles to the first location, and we marked two spots on the Hunt Stand app, and we traced our steps within that app as well, because there's spots where there's no cell service, and then there's spots where you get like 1 bar of service. So it's a very interesting animal to hunt, and they actually bugle like elk. So I remember when I went last time 17 years ago, you could hear them bugling, and they sound just like elk, and they're pretty much quiet during all spring, summer, and early fall. And then when you get into mid-October is their peak rut. I mean, to me, that would be the prime time to hunt them, and a lot of people will say that as well, is if you can get into that mid-October time frame to hunt these things. That's an exciting time because they bugle. The only problem with scouting this and this type of habitat is the bugs are absolutely insane. We sprayed every kind of, I soaked my clothes and sprayed them with Promethium, Sawyers, and everything the night before. And when we got there, we sprayed down. We had thermocells, and it wasn't actually the mosquitoes. It was the horse flies and black flies and such that were just, Zach got attacked, and it was pretty funny. But it's a different type of habitat, and to me, it will either make you or break you in that type of situation, because it was hot, it was swampy, it was buggy, and it was just brutal with the amount of bugs that there is. And when I went last time, 17 years ago, the bugs were so bad. You have to wear head nets and all that. But back then, I think I had 1 thermocell, but this year when I go, I'm going to take 2 Thermacells just as a precaution because the mosquitoes and bugs are so bad. And you know, even with the bug spray that we used, it felt like it actually like attracted them. I didn't get attacked, you know, bitten a whole bunch. Zach had more of it than I did, and who knows what that could be. Could be food, you know, deodorant that they were attracted to. I don't know, but some people just seem to be attacked more than others. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on this because I did take some footage while we were there. Not a whole bunch, just because it was so hot, and we were trying to figure out how to access these places on the app. And we had we just had a 3/4 of a day to scout this and get ready for mid-October because we had to put in for a permit. We got picked for 2 days to hunt. I think the 21st maybe and 22nd of October, which would be prime rut. Hopefully it's cooler. The bugs aren't as bad, but we're getting prepared. We're taking every step that we can take to have a good hunt. We got basically we got 4 spots picked out. The second location we picked out, we only went in about a mile and a quarter maybe, which also looks like a good spot. But I think the first spot we picked down there is going to be an excellent spot. It's very remote. It's way back in there. It's hard to get to, and we're going to take all the precautions, and we're going to take every step we can take to have a successful hunt. So we're back here sika scouting, and I'm not going to tell you where, but right now we just picked 2 tree stands. We got one stand over there, we got a tree here, and we're at the edge of a woods line where it meets a swamp where they clear cut out, and we got sika paths all over the place. And don't mind this, it's just a fan to keep the mosquitoes off. And we got Thermacells. It's pretty hot today, mosquitoes are bad, but out here is probably, I don't know, a couple hundred acres of clear cut, and we have 2 inside corners here where we picked our stands, and we're probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles back in. But we marked them on Hunt Stand app, and now we're going to head out, trace our steps back out, and we're going to go to another zone, check that zone out. But we'll be back here in October doing some sika hunting, kind of bringing back memories. You know, I did this 20 years ago, and Zach's kind of new to this as well, so we're having fun and picking some stands and hopefully get some sika deer. I just want to share this with you guys because it's a cool animal, and a lot of people never heard of them. Like I said, they're part of the elk. They're related to the elk family. They bugle just like elk, and they're only in a couple counties in Maryland on the eastern shore because they live in those swamps. And it's going to be an interesting hunt. And like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on it. I'm very excited about this and to get back into it and, you know, see what we can do. So any questions, leave a comment down below. I encourage you to just Google search, you know, sika deer and just read up on them. You know, it's a cool animal, and I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see you on the next video.